Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 20 updates and spoilers. Our house guest today is Terrence Lassiter. Terrence, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it and we think you're awesome. And if you guys want to be house guests today, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Also, for all of our lovely patrons, the latest puppet show is up on our Patreon feed page thing. So check that out. You get to see it 24 hours before everybody else. Yay! Okay, so when we left off yesterday, Bailey had just told Rachel that she has the identity theft power app. Why did you do that? I wish I had a gif of Caitlyn when she was like, why did you do that to Fessy? I would put it right here because why did you do that? Oh my god. Could also use the Tyra Banks one. We were rooting for you. Bailey, I feel like, has been imploding ever since she won HOH. The power is too much. She cannot wield it. So Bailey had pretty much also decided that she wants to put up Brett and Rachel with Brett as her target. But she still wanted to talk to JC again. She still wanted to kind of like freak him out a little bit and make him panic. Like, oh, maybe I could be going up on the block. So they were up in the HOH room and JC's like, real talk, I'm kind of mad at Fessy because I worked so hard to get the votes to evict Caitlyn last week, and Fessy is taking all the credit for securing those votes. He thinks he freaking locked them in on Thursday morning when they had already been set before that. I mean, really. So Bailey is like, okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. Thank you. Because she's like taking notes right now of everything that Fessy is doing wrong. She's gonna yell at him later. Okay, so Bailey's like, all right, for these nominations, obviously I'm putting up Brett. But like, I need somebody to go up next to him, and I have it down to you and one other person to put up as the pawn. So if I put up the other person, we need a solid plan moving forward. You can't just go around like running your mouth talking about me. You need to be on my team. So JC's like, yeah, sure. There's 6 or 7 other people that I want to leave before you. So don't worry about it. So he's like, there's no reason for me to target you. You've never done anything to me, so we don't need to worry about that. So Bailey's like, cool. I'm not going to put you up, and you're not going to be the replacement either if it's necessary. Okay. So meanwhile, Rachel, full of this new information about the third power app, tells Angela that Bailey has the power app. So Rachel sets it up so that Angela guesses what she's talking about. So like technically she didn't tell her, but she's saying to Angela, I'm telling you this because you're my final 2, but we cannot tell anyone else, not even Casey, which is crazy because the 3 of them are so tight. But she's explaining that Bailey can control somebody else's nominations, but they're not thinking of this in like a way, the way that they should be. They're like, this is good because they feel like they're in with Bailey. They can trust her. They think she's going to stay true to the Girls Alliance no matter what. So they think she's going to use this to put up 2 guys, which I think she is planning on doing, but at the same time, like, they haven't been working with her, and like all of a sudden they're super close to her and trusting her. What? So, they think that they're going to be safe when Bailey uses this power because she wants Brett, Tyler, and Scotty to go. Alright, so back to this week. They're hoping that the veto is going to be used because obviously they don't want 2 of their people up on the block. That means they're automatically going to lose one of their numbers. But also, they want Scotty out. He is their #1 target right now. And Bailey told Rachel that Scotty would be the replacement nominee if the veto is used. So Rachel is like, all right, I kind of want to be nominated so that I can win the power veto and have a hand in taking out Scotty. She's really upset because she's heard that Scotty is trying to pin the Hinky vote on her, which is, it's funny that she's upset about it because she's doing the exact same thing to him. But anyway, Angela says that they're still solid with level 6 for now, but if shit hits the fan, they're going to move forward with Casey and Bailey. They have like a little 4-girl thing going. So then Bailey and Haley were in the HOH room. And Bailey's like, all right, like 5 people have come to me now saying that Rockstar is being her usual ass-kissing self, wearing Swaggy's shirt on the day of nominations, of course. So then she's like, what do? Do I just let her wear it? What the F? Are you going to tell her what she can and can't wear now? HOH-itis much? So anyway, Haley's telling her that she's kind of upset with Fessy right now because Fessy was grilling her about what she was talking about with Bailey during their one-on-one, and she's like, I'm allowed to have secret conversations. So Bailey's like, well, he's probably trying to figure out if I told the two of you the same stuff, and that's so annoying that he doesn't trust that I was. So then Bailey's like, I'm gonna put up Brett and Rachel, just so you know, and that's gonna guarantee that somebody from that side goes. So that's why I have to put up Rachel as the pawn. So then Bailey brings in Fessy, and she's like super rude about it because Fessy was out on the Sky Bridge. I think it was with Rockstar and Tyler, and they were just chatting. So Bailey opens the HOH door, and she's just like, you need to come in here for like 5 seconds and then get out of here again. It was so rude. Okay, so she closes the door after he comes in, and she's like, my filter only comes off with you and Haley. Don't you ever in your life, ever, say anything I'm doing is a bad move. Not to Haley, not to anybody else. Wow, we got a tyrant up in here. So Fessy's just like, what did I say? And Bailey's like, well, you're nervous that JC is going up. You need to just trust me. So Fessy's like, I never said it was a bad move. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, he may not have said those exact words, but he was really putting up a fight when she was talking about putting JC up. So then Bailey is like, guess what? I'm not putting JC. Oh my god. That was my brother. Okay. I just had a heart attack. Okay, so hi. So Bailey's like, you don't have to worry. I'm not putting JC up. So you could just stop all of your panicking and your running around. You are Team Bailey and Haley, and your loyalty is only to us. I'm sweating so bad right now. So she's like, if you keep sticking your neck out for that crazy little Tasmanian devil over your bay and over your hay, we'll literally step on you. Ew, she sucks. I can't believe she just called JC little Tasmanian devil. She is making so many offensive, mean statements about JC, and it's so messed up, especially because they had that conversation about sensitivity. Okay, so anyway, Fessy is getting pissed that they're questioning his loyalty, especially Haley, because he did use the veto on her last week when he didn't have to. So then they're arguing about whether Fessy questions Bailey's plans or not. This is so dumb. Like, I'm so over it. This is so dumb. So Bailey leaves the room. I guess she was over it too, and she wants to give them a minute to talk alone. But then, after a few seconds of silence, or maybe a minute of silence, Haley leaves too. Fessy's like, great! So he puts on the headphones and starts rage dancing to Cardi B. It was so weird. It's just like, it was bizarre. Okay, so anyway, Bailey goes to the have-not room where she finds Rachel crying. She's like, I want to clarify something about my power, because she was not completely honest about it earlier. She said that she's like basically gonna take over the HOH, but she was like, alright, so when I use it, I'll be able to control the initial nominees, but I'm not going to have any control over the replacement nominee if the veto is used. That's going to be up to the HOH, so just keep that in mind. So then Rachel's like, okay, that's fine. So she's asking Bailey, would you be open to using the veto on me if you win? And Bailey's like, yeah, I'd be open to it. I mean, that's not like a resounding yes, but she says, I think it'll be good because it would show the girls that I'm serious about this girls alliance if I take you down and put up another guy. So yeah, sounds good. But Rachel is also getting a little nervous that JC or Scotty have the other power app because they don't know who the third one is. Tyler hasn't told a soul, which turns out was like the best idea ever. So anyway, she's freaking out about that, but that's gonna boil over later. So then Rockstar and Bailey were chatting in the HOH room. Bailey's just filling her in on the plan, letting her know that she's decided she's gonna put up Brett and Rachel. Did I already do nominations? Okay, I don't even know where I am. She's decided she's gonna put up Brett and Rachel. So she's like, I don't want the nominations to change. Brett's gotta go, he's my target. So then they're talking about the veto, And Bailey says that she's not going to pick Fessy because he's already won too many. They don't want to put an even bigger target on him, even though he's like their knight in shining armor. So she's thinking about picking Tyler. And Rockstar's like, yeah, that's great. He'll do what you want. No. I could totally see Tyler winning and using the veto. I could totally see it happening, and it would be the best, and it would be so season 20. So they're just all too trusting of him right now because they think he's like this wounded baby bird. So then Bailey brings up how 5 people have come up to her mentioning that Rockstar is wearing a Swaggy C t-shirt and it looks like she's trying to kiss her ass. Why would you bring this up? That is crazy. So she's like, just so you know, people are saying that. They think you're kissing my butt. And Rockstar's just like, I've worn this t-shirt before. Like, what's the problem? Also, let's mention here, Fessy was wearing one yesterday too, but it was okay for him. Okay, so then, I just felt like I had to add that in there. Excuse me. So then Rachel was talking to Bailey one more time to try and stay off the block. So she's like, what if you put up, and then she's going to go through all these people. I'm going to give you the name, and then the reason that Bailey gives for why she can't put that person up. So, Angela, I promised her loyalty day 2. Casey, she already pledged her loyalty to me before you. JC, he'll run his mouth too much. I don't want to deal with that. And there's a lot of people that don't want him to go up, and I don't want them to all be mad at me. Scotty, he might win the veto, and he might have the other power app, so I don't want to risk that. So then Rachel's like, well, could I be the replacement nominee instead? Do I have to be the initial nom with Brett? And Bailey's like, you're going up. Like, you're not going to be the replacement. This is what's happening. So then Rachel's like, okay, well, will Scotty go up if the veto is used on me? And Bailey's like, yes, we could do Scotty versus Brett. So then Rachel's not giving up. She suggests Tyler and Sam as pawns. And Bailey's like, I already promised Tyler safety this week. He's just like having a chill week. And Sam would never forgive her. So she's not going to do that. Okay, so then Rachel checks in with Brett in the have-not room, and she's like, man, I tried, but it looks like we're going up. So Rachel is really regretting right now acting like she was okay with going up as a pawn, because at one point when she was talking to Bailey, she was like, you know, it probably would be best for you to put me up. But then later she was like, I shouldn't have said that. So she's like, I should have just freaked out like everybody else, because apparently that works. So Rachel says best case scenario, Brett wins the power veto and takes himself down. I feel like if I was on the block, best case scenario would be me taking myself down. I mean, yes, you want to keep your team intact, but you never know what could happen. So it's just crazy that she's like, Brett, you need to win this. I mean, yes, it would be nice if they were both safe, but you got to think about yourself first. So she's like, hopefully if you win, Bailey would put up Scotty, and then everybody would vote him out. But Brett's not so sure that Bailey would follow through on that. Me neither. I don't see it happening, because didn't she already tell Scotty he was going to be safe? Yeah. So then Rachel was saying that Bailey promised to save her if she wins the power veto. So that means they have at least a 50% chance that one of them will come down. But again, I don't know that Bailey would actually use the veto. We'll see. So then it was time for the nomination ceremony, and as planned, Bailey put Rachel and Brett up on the block. Okay, so the feeds come back. Rachel's crying, and now she's worried because she went into this thinking that Bailey was like all on board to get rid of Scotty this week, and it was like a backdoor plan. But now she's realizing more and more that Brett is actually Bailey's target. There may not even be a chance that she's going to put up Scotty. It's looking like she wants Brett to go, even if Scotty is up next to him. So, yeah, she's not sure that Bailey's going to follow through on her promises. She's also nervous that Brett could win the power veto, and whoever she's up next to has the other power app. Yeah, you probably should have thought about that. I mean, they don't, unless Tyler goes up, but I don't think that's happening. But she's worried about that because nobody, again, knows that Tyler has that third power. So Fessy and JC were in the storage room, And Fessy's like, I told you, don't be ungrateful. You were going on the block, mother effer. So Fessy is trying to he's trying to take credit for JC not going up. So JC's like, I'm not ungrateful. I'm not happy that everyone knows that we're freaking working together now, because he just called him into the storage room in front of everybody and it was super obvious. And Fessy's like, well, a thank you would be much appreciated. So JC says, yeah, thank you, but I've been doing this for you all game, and I don't appreciate you taking credit for getting the votes to get rid of Caitlyn when that was my work. So there's a little bit of tension there. Later, JC goes up to the HOH room to talk to Bailey, and he's like, thank you for the memories now. He's like, thank you for keeping me off the block. I'm very grateful. And JC says something about how he thinks it's important that they keep all the minorities represented in the game. Like Bailey, JC, Casey. Should that really be your game consideration? I don't know, whatever. So JC brings up how Fessy is taking credit for keeping him off the block. He says that he pulled him into the storage room in front of everybody, and it's so messed up. And Bailey's like, oh my god, that's so annoying. She says, other people came to me besides Fessy and told me not to put you up. So it wasn't because of him. I make my own decisions. I don't just do what Fessy tells me to do. So she's pretty pissed about that. Again, taking notes, putting it away for later, for when she yells at him. So then they're talking about how the noms have to stay the same because Bailey wants Brett to go this week and JC's going along with it. And he's like, just so you know, like, if we're working together, I don't want to be used as a pawn. So if the veto is used, don't even think about it. All right, so most of the house guests went to bed very early last night. And then at like 12, I want to say 10 a.m., Bailey wakes up Fessy to scold him. You know, she's got her notes out that she's been working on all day. She's upset that it's looking like he is running her HOH. She's like, the diary room even asked me if it's your HOH or mine. I look like a little bitch. She doesn't like that. So she also feels like he's making her look bad to people, like she was saying earlier with him questioning her choices and her plans. She also doesn't like that he was telling JC that he's the only reason that he's not on the block, because now JC knows that Bailey was thinking about putting him up. But how is that even a thing? Because she was telling him it's down to you and one other person. So you kind of told him that too. But whatever. All right, so they had a long talk. They were also talking about like Fessy's relationship with Haley, and it was just like so dumb. I can't. Okay, so then this morning, Rachel was panicking and talking herself into trouble in the HOH room with Bailey. She's like really freaking out. She's like, what if Brett wins the veto and I'm up against somebody and they have a power like JC or Scotty? She's worried about that, and Bailey's like, we didn't even have the veto yet, so let's just see how that pans out and then we'll get there. So Rachel's also feeling guilty that she's like playing a part in Brett's eviction by agreeing to be a pawn this week. So Bailey's like, he's a big boy. Don't worry about him. You know, focus on yourself, focus on your own game. It's gonna be fine. So then they start talking about Bailey's power, and this is where it starts getting a little bit tense. So it seems like Rachel is asking Bailey to use it to protect her friends as well. Like, Bailey already said that she's gonna use it to protect, obviously, herself, Fessy, and Rachel, because the three of them know about it. But now Rachel's like, if somebody I like is gonna go up on the block, could you maybe, like, use it on them? So, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, that takes a lot of nerve to ask somebody to use the power on your friends. That's too much. So Bailey's like, all right, I'm not gonna play what ifs here. It's a little bit annoying that you're asking me to use this power on like a friend of a friend. She's getting really heated at this point and frustrated. She says, it's already hard enough that I'm trying to protect people on opposite sides, meaning Rachel and Fessy. And all this negative energy that Rachel just had is now on her. She actually said that. So she doesn't like all these scenarios that Rachel is presenting to her right now. So Bailey's also frustrated that if the veto is used, she's going to have to put somebody else up on the block she's already made a lot of promises that she's not gonna put people up. So she's like, no one's thinking about me. She's like telling Rachel, I had no idea you were gonna panic like this if I put you up. And she's saying, I kind of think it's selfish of you, that you're worrying about your own game right now and not mine. And like what consequences I'm gonna have if I have to put somebody else up. Wasn't she just telling Rachel to focus on her own game? I can't believe Bailey is like upset with her for being nervous. She's up on the block. Do I have to remind you how much Bailey freaked out when she thought she was going to go up week 1? And she wasn't even on the block. Ah! So Rachel's just like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'm so sorry. Alright, so anyway, then it was time for the Power Veto player picks. The host is going to be Rockstar. We've got Bailey, Rachel, and Brett playing, of course. And then 3 extras, Tyler, Sam, and JC. Interesting. I think Sam and JC would probably keep it the same. Tyler is a wild card. I don't really know what he would do. I feel like maybe he'd use it on somebody, but we'll see. So then Tyler was talking to KC, or I always say that, Casey, and he's got this idea he's kind of kicking around. He wants to make it seem to Bailey like he's really close to Scotty, like they're best friends again. So then if he does decide to use the veto, Bailey will put up his best friend, Scotty, to get revenge on Tyler for using the veto. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny. It would be really funny if it worked, but I don't know that that's going to happen. But anyway, lots of retells of the Rachel-Bailey conversation throughout the rest of the morning. Everybody's talking about how Rachel's panicking. They're kind of worried about working with her moving forward because she's so all over the place. But then the fees went down for the Power Veto competition. They're not back yet. So, let me know who you guys are rooting for that POV in the comments. I'll put the winner in the info for this spoiler later on when we have the results, so check back. And until tomorrow, much love.